Hello, yeah, you're welcome back to this module 5 of the Certified Ethical Hacker version 10 hands on. Okay, if you've come this far, you've really tried. Okay, you've really, you need a thumbs up for it. All right, and in this module, we're going to be doing I'm going to be running you through reconnaissance. All right, like we've learned before. Reconnaissance is the act of actually going deeper in information gathering. Okay, if you need to attack a target system, all you need to do is just get as much information as you need. Okay, because it's going to be what you need in all the procedures, okay, of hacking before you become successful in hacking. All right, so today, without further ado, I'm going to go into what we're going to be doing. Okay, so I will permit me to fire up the terminal, and so I can type in what we're going to be doing today. Okay, now the first thing first thing or command that we're going to be using today is a command we call net discover net discover. Okay, so what this will actually help us to do to achieve is, anytime you are in any network, okay, let's say we have an office network and you need to hack into one of the systems, or there's a server there, you need to hack into one of the server, and you don't have an idea as a hacker the IP addresses. You don't even have any idea about the whole systems in that network. So all you need to do is to run this very command, net discover. It will now help you to discover a whole lot of computers connected to that network, IP addresses of computers connected to that network, because the gateway to your hacking is just by getting the IP address. As we know, IP address is the doorway to any system, is a name of any system. Like the way you call people by their name. When you say, for example, hello John, John will turn back, there's a John there. So whenever you call any system using any IP address, the system will kind of turn back to you by you mentioning the IP address. Okay, so that's how to actually discover the IP addresses of any of the systems connected to any network that you are into, or you want to hack a system in it. So the next command that we're going to be using also is should I call it the almighty nmap now. Okay, so the way I am going to do this is, after we have discovered an IP address, a system in a network, we'll now use nmap command to find out if this system is up. That is, if the system is not shut down. Okay, if the system is live on the network, if the system is actually working on the network, if it's running on the network, we use nmap to discover that. Okay, nmap is a very large command that every hacker will use like every other day. Okay, so we're going to use this nmap to actually go deeper into knowing which system is running, which of the ports are open. For example, is it SSH port, FTP port, which of the ports are open? Because it's the first thing, the first thing to hacking into a system is to know the IP address. Then the second thing is which of the ports are opened. Okay, so you're going to hack through those ports into the system. Okay, and we are going to use the nmap to discover that. We can also use nmap to even discover the operating system running on that remote system. When you get to know the port that's open, the services running on that port, and also the operating system running on that system, it will give you a whole lot of information. It has given you a whole lot of information already that will help you or guide you, that use it your as part of your arsenals to actually hack into the systems. And also we're going to check CEHv10 This is another tool that will send a ping sweep, okay, to know whether a system is also up, okay. And now the last but on the list command that we're going to be checking out in this module is nbt scan. All right, nbt scan. This is another tool also that will get to give us information about that same system that we're going to be hacking. All right, so I am going to delete all this now, so we go into the use of those commands. So like I've said, we can just type, we can just go ahead and type net discover, this way, and we'll press enter. But in most cases it will show us the bash error that the command is not found, it's not in the system, and all that. By now in this very module, if you've gone through all the modules and you're in this module, you should know actually what the problem is. And the problem is because we are just a normal user. Some of these commands you need to be a root user before you can use them. So if you want to run it as a root user, you will do the super user do net discovery. Okay, so let's go ahead and press enter. You see what I'm saying? Now we have bash net discover command not found. So what if we now go ahead to enter the command sudo? I'll press enter. Actually it will always ask you for the password, so I'm going to enter the password now. Okay, now yes, you can see what's happening now. We see that the command net discover is actually running. So what it's actually doing, it's crawling through the whole network, okay. And before I forget, and before we go further, I want you to understand that I actually installed another tool, another VM machine, virtual machine called VirtualBox, okay. And in the VirtualBox I installed another machine called the Metasploitable. Okay, this is the VirtualBox I installed, and here we have Metasploitable, and it's running already. I powered it on already. Okay, so that look at it now, the scan is bringing out something for us here. Okay, now this is Metasploitable. If we go here to file, and we go to network, host network manager, and it comes up. When we check here, normally originally you not see any IP address here, so all you need to do is you click on adapter, and it will be on adapter like automatically. This other place will be checked, but what you need to do is you click on this vero configure adapter manually, and then you enter the IP address. Okay, most times you just change the last digit. What I meant here is 192.168.56.101. okay, so I changed it to 103. all right, and I came over here and clicked apply. All right, and that was all. And I'll come here and click on start machine. Okay, but now I've started it all up, and that's why you see that it's running just here. All right, it's running here. This is the Metasploitable. So if I do ifconfig here, it's going to show us this very IP address 192.168.56.103. now originally, if you do not go to that network manager and set that IP address, it won't show you any IP address at this point. Okay, so you need to do that. Okay, don't leave it for the DHCP server to set it for you, because the danger is the DHCP server will be changing the IP address intervally. Okay, so you might not really get a hold of the IP address to actually work with. Okay, so you change that to a static IP address. And one more thing that you need to know also is when you go to settings, okay, you click on settings like this, and the setting will be loaded up this way. You go to network. All right, in this network, just try and set this attached to this network adapter to host only adapter. Okay, and when you're done, you click OK. All right, when you're done clicking OK, I mean you are done, actually done. So what you need to do, you come back to VMware here, and you go to settings. All right, go to VM and you go to settings, and when the dialog box comes out, eventually you also go to network. Okay, while we're waiting for it to pop up, just know that you go to network menu, click on it, and also change the adapter settings to host only. Why you are doing that, I mean the reason why you are doing that is you are okay, you are connecting this VMware, okay, to the host computer. That's the laptop, the system you're using to run the VMware. That's the host. You are linking the whole, like linking this very VMware and the virtual box that we've seen already. You are putting them, it's like you're putting them in the same network all together. All right, when you put them in the same network, you know, I installed Metasploitable on VirtualBox, and I install our Kali Linux on VMware. You know, they are like on different locations. Okay, so if you want to have all of them in the same network, so we'll go to that VirtualBox and did what I showed you, and you come here and click network adapter, and you click host only. But there's a little trick here that I did. When I click host only, it was not actually seeing the Metasploitable machine. Okay, so what I now did, I went on this VMware, the attacker's machine, and clicked on breached. Then I will tick this very one to replicate physical network connection state, and I now click OK. All right, when you're done, you see that whenever you run your commands like the net discover command, you're going to see something like this. So this is the result of the scan, and if you check here, it's actually still running. Okay, but we know that we don't have we don't have many machines running on this very system that I'm using, so I will stop the scan now. So to stop the scan, or to even stop any running commands, all you need to do is on your Windows machine you press Ctrl and C all together, and I think on Mac you should do Command and C. It will end it, but I'm on a Windows machine. Okay, so I pressed Ctrl plus C. That's, you press them together, Ctrl button and the C button. So now what I'm going to do, you know, like if you remember the list of the commands that we're going to be touching in this reconnaissance section today, which is the module 5 of the CEH version 10, okay, sponsored by CyberWatch Hive. The next command that we said we're going to talk about is the nmap. All right, so like I said, you've used the net discover to discover live machines running on the server, running on that same network. So what you're going to be doing is you'll be picking all these IP addresses one after the other, okay, one after the other, and you'll be checking them to know which IP address is actually live. It means which system is actually running on the network at that moment. Okay, so all I will need to do is I will open another terminal to run my what do we call it, my nmap command. And now a lot of hackers will always, before they run all these commands, they will always want to start up a another tool, a very special tool called the Wireshark. Okay, what is Wireshark actually? What is Wireshark used for? Wireshark is a tool that you can use to monitor what's actually going on in a network or on the at the background of your system. For example, to start, let's start the Wireshark and we'll see how it works. Okay, now you to start up a Wireshark, you type Wireshark. Okay, Wireshark. But there's something that you need to know. If you type ordinary Wireshark and you press enter, all right, it will load up, but it's not going to work for you because you do not have the authority, like the privilege to use it. So like we always do, we use sudo Wireshark. But before I type that, let's go on to use Wireshark. And you type Wireshark or Wireshark sorry ampersand, like this. Okay, and you press enter. Now Wireshark will now load automatically. Yes, it's in the process of loading right now. So what we need to do is, most times when we've not used the sudo command with the Wireshark, we'll notice that it won't work. The Wireshark 2 will not work. Okay, look at what I'm talking about. Let's see. Now it's showing us to telling us to choose an interface. Okay, how are you going to know the interface you're supposed to use? Let's open up another terminal also. Now we have ETH0, we have loopback to, we have any, we have Bluetooth monitor, we have all these guys. Okay, but let's start up another terminal like this to know which network interface we are actually using presently. So to do that, from is it the module 1 now, we'll type the CEHv10. Okay, and when you press enter, it's telling us there are no commands. So let's go on and attach our sudo CEHv10, then type our password. Alright, now you see this is the IP address. This is our attacker's machine's IP address. Okay, and now look at the interface. This is the interface. Okay, this very one is that loopback interface. We're not going to use that. Okay, is this very one that we can use, that can be connected to any network, to the internet and all that. Okay, so let's enter the command exit to exit from here. So it means we're going to click on this guy, like we'll double click on it, but when we double click on it, we see an error. The capture session could not be initiated on interface ETH0. You don't have permissions to capture on that device. See what I'm talking about? So I think what we'll now do, we'll close Wireshark. Okay, let's close Wireshark, and let's go ahead. At this point I'll press Control C to terminate the operation. So I can also type clear command, okay, to clear the screen. So I'll type sudo Wireshark, Wireshark. Let's even press enter and type in our password. Okay, so let's wait for Wireshark to get loaded right now. Wireshark is being loaded. You see, in fact, for you to know, that's what it's a personal thing though. For me to know that I actually did the right thing. You see, before now, this interface was black. All right, like it was transparent. We're seeing the black background, but look at how it looks like right now. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to double click on the ETH0 interface. You see that Wireshark is running here right now. Okay, so let me actually go to full screen. Okay, for us now, this is Wireshark and it's running. Okay, now let's go back to our terminal where we're going to run. Okay, that's the terminal for the Wireshark. This is the terminal for this. Okay, did we open any? Yeah, I think we opened this. Yes, now let's minimize it, let's reduce it. What I did, I took this arrow to the edge, and when it changes to this format, I'll hold my mouse button down and pull. Okay, so I want to enter the command. The same time, I want us to see what is actually what will actually happen. Look at it. I've run some commands, so it's even running some stuff for us already. So let's just watch what is going to happen. So I'm going to type nmap. Okay, let's go back to this result and copy this IP address. Okay, let's copy this IP address because we know that's the metasploitables IP address. So I'll do copy selection. Okay, let's go back here and let's bring up our Wireshark. Okay, so I'm going to now type nmap this way. Okay, you now give a space. Now before we even go to into typing the command, okay, if you don't really know anything about nmap, all you need to do is you just type nmap and press enter key on your keyboard, and it's going to show you a whole lot of stuff here. Okay, let me maximize this so we see a better result. Okay, let's do nmap again. All right, see what I'm talking about here. So let's scroll back up. Nmap has a whole lot of switches, okay, options that we can use alongside the command nmap. Right, this is nmap. Okay, so we have all these switches for host discovery. Okay, like we have SL, and it will list this guy. So simply list targets to scan. Okay, SN, this guy will tell you where the ports that are disabled, whether ports are disabled or not. Okay, it says disable port scan. All right, and all these guys, if you go through all these things, you see that nmap has a lot of features. Now when we have dash lowercase s and uppercase s, it means we just want to run a stealth scan. Okay, and here we call it the scene scan. All right, the TCP scene scan. All right, and if you see this very one, it means the UDP scan. All right, now you can how to get to know how all these things, all the switches and options work is for you to try them one after the other. You can actually go through all these things, try to use them one after the other so you can know actually what these guys are doing or what they can do for you. There's one that I want us to see now under OS detection. Okay, we have dash capital O, say enable OS detection. Okay, that's that for that. And when you go down, there's a part that we can use dash capital A. Yes, look at it. Dash capital A enables OS detection. Actually, I use this a lot, okay, because it will enable you to know the OS that the target system is running, the version of the OS, and it will also run scan the scripts running on that target system, is and when you do dash capital V, it will print version number and all those stuff. Okay, now if these are a few examples of how to actually run nmap, okay, to in your network, so you get to know. All right, so what we're going to do actually is to now go and type clear, and we're going to run nmap again. All right, nmap like this. We'll give a space, we'll now do a dash. Okay, we'll drop an n. All right, if you remember what we did, an n, actually if you go through that list, n will actually try to allow or to make nmap command to not actually go into the DNS, trying to into the domain name server resolution. Okay, it helps you a lot. The scan that is supposed to take long time, okay, because of the domain name resolution. Okay, it will just go directly, skip the domain name resolution. All right, that's what the dash n will do for you. Then we now go ahead and do the dash sn. All right, you remember which is the excuse me, which is the scene scan. All right, That's the scene scan. All right, then we'll now go ahead and drop our IP address. So I'm going to paste the IP address that we copied. So paste clipboard. Okay, so let me minimize this down because we're going to see what's going to be running here. So as soon as, like I said, this is nmap space -n space -sn space the IP address, and this IP address is the IP address of our metasploitable that's running on the VMware VirtualBox rather. Right, so I'm going to press enter here. Now you see what's happening here. It's showing us something, okay? And now this command just showed us that one host is up. One host is up, okay? It means this very IP address that we scanned for is actually up. It means it's there, it's on the server and is running. And when you come back here, you see a whole lot of information here. Okay, this is the destination, which is the IP address that we scanned. Okay, this is a source, which is our own attackers systems IP address. Okay, and I double click on a line, you know, I need to go ahead to give us more details about those scans. Okay, you can actually go ahead to get more resources on Wireshark and to learn more about Wireshark. Okay, now look at here, it's showing us the port number, the destination port also is 80, you know, the source port is this, that is the attacker's port. When you scroll down, you see a whole lot of information that you need as a hacker. Okay, so let's close this. Okay, close this. Let's go ahead and close this. So that's why a lot of hackers will need this, okay, to Wireshark to actually run their command. And also it gives you information on the kind of scan that you are running, okay, and all that is running for at that particular time. So let's go ahead and close Wireshark. Okay, so it will slow our system down. Yes, you can do stop and quit without saving. Actually, you can stop and save the result that you have, but we'll go ahead and click stop and not save. Okay, so here we are back, and I will go ahead and maximize this window. So since one host is up, like we will go ahead to now do more things on the host. Okay, like I said before, this is the command that we use, and when we press enter, we see that one host is actually up, okay, which is a metasploitable machine. Okay, so I'm going to type clear because I'm going to type another command, all right, using another mmap command, okay, using other switches. Now what we typed before is this, and I'm able to get this out like this by just pressing the up arrow button on the keyboard. You know, it will now scroll through all the commands that you've used in the past. So this was the command that we typed before, okay, that we just finished running. Now this command will actually show us if this host, this IP address, is up or not. So that's what I told us. All right, now there's another command, mmap command, that we're going to use against this same host, and that command will go ahead to show us ports that are open. Like I said at the beginning of this module, when it's one thing for you to get an IP address, which is a very big thing, okay, for a hacker, then the next thing that you should do is you go ahead to discover, to find out the ports that are opened and the services running on those ports. Okay, that will now give you another in-depth knowledge on what is that system running per time. Okay, now in order for us to get that, we're going to change this command altogether. Now it's not going to be nmap-n-sn-ip address anymore. We can just run nmap, okay, alone, nmap alone, okay, sorry, 103. Okay, we can just come and run nmap alone like this, nmap this, it will show us. But you see that it's going to be delayed a bit. Okay, it won't be fast than, I mean, like when we use nmap dash n space IP address. Okay, so this is also going to avoid the domain name resolution. All right, so let's go and click enter, and press enter on our keyboard and watch what we're going to have. You see, now we have this command and we press enter, and now we're going to have, we had all this very nice information. No, Metasploitable, that's the other virtual machine that I installed and I'm running on the virtual box, you know, where I took you guys before. It's a very vulnerable machine, okay, a purposefully vulnerable machine, and which is why it's showing you all these comments. Okay, in a real life scenario you might not see as much ports that are open like this. A lot of ports will be open, sorry, will be closed. Okay, now look at what I'm talking about. Port 21, which is a TCP port, all right, and it's open. And port 21 by default is FTP server. Port 22 is SSH. Okay, port 23 is telnet. All right, in the future we'll get to know how actually these things can be used. Then port 25 SMTP, and that's how you can go all the way down. All right, like this very port 514, which is the TCP also, you know, is shell. In a real life scenario, a lot of these ports you not see them opened. All right, port 80, yeah, is a web server port, which is a HTTP. All right, we have a lot of VNT. Okay, we have a lot of ports open here. All right, and when a hacker, as a hacker, when you see, when you're running reconnaissance on any server, any IP address, and you see that all the ports, or maybe FTP, SSH, log shell, VNC, you know, all these ports, when they are open, it means that system is highly vulnerable to a lot of attacks. All right, so that's I'm going to type clear right now to clear the screen. So that's how actually to use nmap to get to know the port. All right, now let me type nmap and remove, sorry, yes, and remove the dash n, and let's see what happens. You see that it's taking more time. You know, it took a little bit more time. This you might not know because it's just a very little small network here. All right, if it's a real life, in a real life scenario, the network might be large. You have multiple systems connected to the network at the same time. Okay, so, and when it's like that, you see that for it to start running the domain name service resolution, it will take longer time to get to, before you can get all this output or all these results. Okay, so I'm going to type clear also. I'm going to type clear, sorry, let me clean this. I'm going to type clear to clear the screen. So like I said about nmap, you can just go ahead and type nmap, okay, and go through a whole lot of options. Okay, all right, I think before we move away from nmap, let's try the dash capital A. All right, this dash capital A for OS detection. Let's get to know the operating system that's running on the remote machine, the remote system. And when I say the OS, the operating system, I'm talking about, is it a Windows operating system, is it a Linux operating system, what's even the name of that machine running over there? Is it like Windows 10, is it Metasploitable, is it Windows 7, Windows 8, is it Linux, is it, you know, Ubuntu and all that? Okay, so let's go ahead and type clear to clear the screen, and we'll go ahead also to type the command, to type the command nmap. Okay, we'll do the dash, the dash n, and we'll now do another dash, the capital A. All right, then we'll go ahead and paste the IP address, which is 192.168.56.103, and as soon as I press enter, we're going to see what I was talking about. It will go ahead and give us the what happened, the operating system running. Okay, at times the network might be having issues. Even in the real life scenario, you might have these issues. Okay, so what I do most times when I see this is I'll go ahead and type ping, like ping. Okay, I'll go ahead and ping the IP address. As soon as I start receiving some packets, paste clipboard. Okay, I will know that the server is back up. So right now you see it's hanging. It means that server is still down, that system is still not running. Okay, but let's let me go to the Metasploitable and see whether it's maybe it's because it's on standby or something. Let me bring it back. Okay, so it's now back. Okay, so let's wait for this ping to start receiving packets. Okay, so in order for this video not to be too long, I'm going to pause this until I start getting packets back. Okay, before I unpause it. So we go ahead with the module. Yeah, we'll see that it's actually running now, receiving packet. It means the remote system is back up. Okay, if you remember what we typed. Okay, we can now press Ctrl and C to terminate this ping stuff. Okay, this is what we typed it, and before you know, we start receiving them. So now that we are receiving them, we'll now go ahead to type our command. What do we call it? The nmap command. To let's actually clear the screen. Nmap command, this variant, to detect the OS of the remote system. So we're going to run this command right now, and remember nmap minus n minus capital A and the IP address. This will actually show us the operating system that's running on that our target system or server. Right, and it's saying strange read error from. Okay, let's wait and see what the output is going to be. Let's wait and see what the output is going to be. Could it be that it has it's not up again anymore? Alright, let's also pause, terminate this command, and go back and run the same ping and see whether, yeah, it's still up. So let's stop this and clear our screen and go back and run this very operating system detection nmap scan. Alright, so let's give it a little time and see what the output will be like. Okay, so while we actually wait for this scan to be completed, let's open another terminal, and so we'll make the video too long. Okay, and go ahead and try the hping. You know, the hping command also is a ping sweep command. Okay, so all we need to do is okay, let's type our nmap. So instead of the nmap, we're going to come here. Okay, let's go ahead and type everything without the IP, so that we don't need to type the IP address again. I'll delete this one. So we're going to type hping. I think the result is out already. hping hping 3, then we'll do the -r. Okay, then this, and now you say command not found. You know the reason why, of course. So let's go to the beginning and do our super user do, which is the sudo. Then we'll enter our password. Yeah, see what I'm talking about. So this is the CEHv10 pin sweep scan. All right, so it will go ahead to actually run out the output. Okay, while we wait for this one, also let's navigate back to this nmap OS detection. Okay, look at the output now. So let's go back to the beginning. This is where we ran the command, right? So because of this dash capital A, we see that the of this it's showing us that the scan report for this very IP address is this. Now let's go ahead and go through all these guys. Now it's a FTP server status. Now it's connected to this, okay, and is the FTP. So let's go ahead and get to see or to find out where it's showing us. Okay, now I think at this point we're beginning to see services running on the remote system. Now we're beginning to see services running on the remote system, but let's keep going through it, and we'll get to really see the details of the remote system that we're actually trying to attack. All right, let's go back up. Where are you? 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 Okay, look at it. I think we have okay. Oh yeah. Look at it. HTTP title. We have Metasploitable 2, and it's a Linux machine. See that? And it's actually running on an Apache 2.2.8 Ubuntu server. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Now this is Metasploitable 2. That's the one running on our virtual box. Okay, so we'll see how this very command can go ahead to give us full information on the remote, on the OS running on the remote system. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's go back to this very command. Okay, let's see, let's terminate it and run our ping let's run our ping. Okay, let's run our ping on this IP address and see if we'll receive. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see, we are not receiving any packets again. It means the remote system is down already. Okay, let me stop this again and do clear. Okay, let me run the ping also again, and let's see. Oh yeah, it's coming back now, so let's terminate it. All right, the remote system is actually not really stable, so let's quickly run our hping command, and which is this. You see what I'm talking about? So hping is also running a ping request, and it's giving us more information compared to the ping request, okay, to the ping command. So I'll do my Ctrl+C to terminate the command. Okay, so let's clear our screen and let's quickly go on to the last but not the least command, which is the nbt scan command. So we can do nbt scan this, all right, -r, and we'll now drop our IP address. Okay, now paste it. All right, and we'll do this. Okay, name scan for addresses from doing nbt name scan. Say permission denied. Okay, I think it's talking about, let's clear our screen, about sudo. So let's attach our sudo. All right, and I want to tell you this, that anytime you see an error message, please do not panic. All right, don't be sweep off your feet. Okay, just check what the error is and deal with it accordingly. So here we're going to add our sudo command. All right, and I will do this. Now it's showing us exactly, this is the IP address. Yeah, what's the machine running? The machine is running Metasploitable. Okay, it's a server and the user Metasploitable, and this is the MAC address of the machine also. So there's one thing that I want us to see. You know, when we type this command, initially we just did sudo mbt scan space -r space 192.168.56.103. okay, let's say if we want to run this mbt scan and we do not even know the IP address there. Okay, let's say we're in a network, you know, just the same thing, the same way we run the net discover command. Okay, let's try and run our mbt scan like that. So how we're going to do, what we're going to type is sudo mbt scan -r 192.168.56. instead of the 103, we'll give a range, and the range, let's say 0 slash let's do 16. Okay, let's give it a range. I'll press enter. See what we're talking about. So is it will scan through all the available the IP addresses until it finds the working IP address. Okay, now you see it's going through all the subnets. Okay, but from our what do we call it, our what we just found out now, we noticed that, okay, let's go ahead and stop the scan. Okay, we noticed that it's looking for all these other IP addresses, but none is found, is reachable. When you see unreachable like this, it means it's not found. But at some point it showed us that there's a Metasploitable machine. There's a machine there that we actually can lay our hands on. All right, let's scroll back up to where we found the Metasploitable. So what this scan would do is it will scan through all the network and finally show us, okay, let's go back down. It will scan through all the IP addresses available, and it will finally show us the IP addresses that are attached to a machine. Okay, I think it's somewhere around here. Okay, it's the output is so long. Okay, but that's how mbt scan will work. All right, when you run your mbt scan, okay, let's clear the screen. Run your mbt scan. Let me run it with this range again and see. It will come to a part that you see Metasploitable. If it finds any IP address, and it will pause. Okay, look at this part now. Okay, let's see, maybe let's run a ping. Okay, let's run a ping on the address and see whether the host is still live. Okay, let's run a ping request, send a ping request. Okay, and see, ping this. All right, in that case, let us not use a range again, 103, and do this. You see that it's not returning any packet. It means the server is down, which is why we couldn't see the Metasploitable here. Okay, so if it's your system, just give it some time and wait for the server to come back up again, since the server on this side is actually fluctuating. All right, so far so good. We're able to go through commands that we can use. Some of the commands, very important commands we can use for the reconnaissance phase of our ethical hacking. And the first one we checked was the net discover, which is a command that we can simply use as not to get or to discover hosts, I mean machines, live machines that are on the internet or on a network. Okay, we use that to discover it, after which we'll now go ahead to use the nmap, and the nmap actually will go ahead to go deeper to let us know the operating system a machine is running, our target system is running. It will go ahead to let us know the version of the services running, the open ports, and even the systems, the machines that are still live and running on the network. Right, then we now went ahead to the hping 3 command, which we can also use to send ping sweep. Okay, and also we went to the nbt scan to get more information about our target system. All right, so far so good. This will be the end of the module 5 of this CEH version 10 hands-on tutorial. We'll meet in the CEH version 10 module 6 as we go ahead to learn more about or in the journey of the cyber security ethical hacking. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next module.